Welcome to the Shadow Frequency, where the veil between this world and the next grows thin, and the things that whisper in the dark are given voice. From the cryptic candlelit studios, deep in the Indiana forests, your host, Matt Wilson, and his spectral producer, Juniper Ravenwood, unearth the forbidden, the forgotten, and the fearsome. So, still your heart, dim the light, and listen closely. For once you tune into the Shadow Frequency, you may never tune out.
What is that? Matt, what are you watching now?
Some old 1980s computer show. Big glasses, beige keyboards, guys explaining how a floppy disk is the future. Riveting stuff, real edge-of-your-seat television.
So, painfully dry.
Incredibly. I think this episode is titled Why Computers Will Never Catch On.
Well, are you ready to shut that down and actually start the podcast?
Yeah, hold on. All right, let's do this.
Okay, opening the file cabinet now. Let's see. Nope, definitely not that. Why is there a manila folder labeled Do Not Read Aloud, ever?
Put that back. Put that way back.
Right, moving on. Oh, what is this? A Polaroid of the hallway? Or is that a shadow?
We don't talk about the hallway.
Okay, then. And wow, there's still sand in this one. You know what? I'm just gonna skip ahead. Here we go. Episode number 279, The Haunted Olde Park Hotel.
That one finally made it out of the cabinet.
Circa 1886, a hotel with a long memory and guests who never checked out.
Strange sounds, shadow figures, and a mirror that doesn't always reflect what's actually there.
So if you're staying the night, maybe don't look too closely.
Or do, but don't say we didn't warn you.
I'm Juniper Ravenwood.
And I'm Matt Wilson, and this is episode 279, The Haunted Olde Park Hotel.
You are tuned to the Shadow Frequency, where every whisper tells a story from beyond the veil. Hosted by Matt Wilson, produced by Juniper Ravenwood, with Chris Beach. The darkness continues.
In the quiet heart of Ballinger, Texas, where the Old West still whispers through dusty streets, stands a stately Victorian building from 1886. The Olde Park Hotel rises like a preserved shadow of the past, its creaking floors and narrow stairwells hiding echoes that refuse to fade. Guests speak of footsteps that belong to no one, laughter from unseen children, and dark silhouettes that vanish when you turn to look. Tonight, we step inside this haunted landmark where the veil between worlds feels paper thin. What restless souls from the railroad era still linger in its rooms? Stay with us if you dare.
Juniper, you always know how to set the stage perfectly. Makes the hairs on my arm stand up already.
Right.
Listeners, tonight we're unpacking the chilling tales from the Olde Park Hotel in Ballinger, Texas. Get ready for some truly unsettling stories from one of the most active haunted spots in the Lone Star State.
It's one of those places that feels alive in all the wrong ways. Over to you, Matt. Let's open the file.
Thanks, Juniper, for digging deep into that file cabinet once again and unearthing this gem of a case from the shadows. All right, folks, let's open the folder on the Olde Park Hotel, a place that has stood since 1886 right in downtown Ballinger, Texas. Picture it, a grand Victorian-era building that once welcomed railroad travelers, cattlemen, and weary souls crossing the Old West. It survived fires, countless renovations, and generations of owners. But through it all, something has remained, something that refuses to rest. The hotel feels like a living echo of 19th century Texas. with its time-worn rooms, narrow stairwells, and floors that creak under invisible weight. Even in daylight, the air carries a heaviness, as if the building itself is watching. But it's after dark when the real activity begins. Guests and staff alike have reported heavy boots pacing the hallways late at night, especially on the upper floors. These aren't soft steps, they're deliberate, like railroad worker or cattleman making his rounds long after the living have gone to bed. You hear them clearly, echoing down empty corridors, but when you open your door or peer around the corner, there's no one there, just silence, and the sense that whoever was walking has simply stepped back into the shadows. Even more unsettling are the children's laughter and playful footsteps. Faint giggling drifts from empty rooms or near the staircases, accompanied by the patter of little feet running where no children are staying. Imagine lying in bed, hearing innocent laughter turn playful and then fade, knowing the building is supposed to be vacant of kids that night. Staff have searched those areas time and again, only to find dust undisturbed and rooms locked tight. It's as if echoes of young souls from the hotel's boarding house days are still playing hide-and-seek in the halls. Then there are the doors and objects that move on their own. Doors swing open or slam shut with enough force to rattle the walls, even when no breeze stirs and all windows are closed. Personal belongings shift locations overnight. Keys moved from a nightstand to a dresser, clothes rearranged in a closet. One guest woke to find their suitcase had been dragged several feet across the room while they slept. These aren't random tricks of the mind. Multiple people have witnessed it, describing the same inexplicable motion in the same rooms. Cold spots hit without warning, sudden drops in temperature that make your breath visible, accompanied by the overwhelming feeling of being watched or the brush of an unseen hand. These hotspots appear in particular rooms tied to the hotel's troubled past, places where illness or hardship claimed lives in the late 1800s. Chills run down your spine, and the air grows thick, as if an intelligent presence is sizing you up, deciding whether to reveal itself. The shadow figures and apparitions take it to another level. Dark silhouettes glide through hallways or appear in mirrors, human-shaped but fleeting. They vanish the instant you notice them, leaving only a racing heart and the certainty that you weren't alone. Guests have described seeing these forms in reflections, tall figures in old-fashioned attire, perhaps railroad workers who never checked out, or boarders who passed during hard times. The energy feels residual at times, replaying busy nights from the hotel's heyday, but other encounters suggest something intelligent, responding to guests with deliberate interactions. Local lore points to former guests, railroad men, long-term boarders, or those lost to illness in the harsh Texas frontier as the source. Some believe the building traps moments of intense emotion or tragedy, replaying them endlessly. Others insist the presences are aware, reaching out directly. Whether it's protective, playful, or warning, the activity draws paranormal investigators and thrill seekers who leave with their own unnerving tales. Few spend a night there without sensing they shared the space with something from beyond. The Olde Park Hotel doesn't just remember its past, it lives it over and over in the dead of night. It's hard to shake the feeling that those who checked in over a century ago never truly left.
That gives me chills just thinking about those footsteps approaching an empty room. I'm hooked. What else is in that file?
Plenty more where that came from.
God.
After the break, we'll dig even deeper into specific rooms and encounters that make this place unforgettable. Back to you, Juniper.
We've only scratched the surface of the hauntings at Olde Park Hotel, and already the stories are raising goosebumps. What are you thinking out there, listeners? Would you spend the night? Stick around because the second half gets even more intense. Now we'll hand it over to Chris for a quick word.
Cheers, Juniper. If the shadows have drawn you in, stay a while. Hit that like button, subscribe, and follow us on YouTube, TikTok and Facebook, or wherever you tune in to your favourite podcasts. Dive deeper at shadowfrequencypodcast.com. There, you can explore our complete episode archive, check out our Shadow blog for deeper dives into each case, snag some exclusive merch, or even help support the show by buying us a coffee. And here's something fun. Leave us a voicemail on the site and tell us where in the world you're listening from. You just might hear yourself on the next episode. Take it away, Juniper.
Thanks, Chris. Time to fire up the spectral cosmic message materializer. Flipping the switches now. Let's watch as it pulls ethereal signals from the void. Ah, here's a curious transmission flickering through the static.
Message retrieved from the void.
Time to unfold this note from one of our loyal listeners out in the cold north. It says, "Hey, Matt and Juniper, my name is Daisy R, and I'm writing to you from Kelowna, British Columbia, Canada. I work from home most days, and honestly, the shadow frequency has become my go-to background atmosphere while I'm answering emails, jumping on Zoom calls, and pretending not to get distracted by the snow falling outside my window. I usually listen during the late morning and early afternoon, headphones on, coffee in hand, and spreadsheets on one screen, while your creepy cases play on the other. It makes even the most boring workday feel a little more mysterious. I stream a show on Spotify, and my favorite episodes are the ones about UFOs, government conspiracies, and anything involving strange creatures or time anomalies. There's just something about hearing about hidden files and unexplained encounters while I'm doing normal office work. It makes me feel like I'm secretly part of some paranormal research team. Thanks for keeping my work days weird and wonderful. You guys make the home office way less lonely and a lot more haunted. Listening from the shadows up north, Daisy R." That is such a perfect vibe, Daisy, turning the spreadsheets into secret paranormal ops while snow falls outside. I love it. Your message totally captures why we do this show, making the ordinary feel haunted and connected. Keep those emails coming, everyone. Send your stories, thoughts, or favorite episodes to shadowpodcast@protonmail.com. We read them right here. And with that, let's turn it back over to Matt for the second half.
You are tuned to the Shadow Frequency, where every whisper tells a story from beyond the veil. The darkness continues.
Thanks, Juniper. That mailbag note from Daisy really hits home. Turning everyday work into a haunted research mission? That's the spirit we love around here. Makes me wonder if any of those background episodes have sparked some unexplained activity in listeners' own homes. Anyway, back to the Olde Park Hotel. We left off with the broad phenomena, but let's dive into the specific hotspots that investigators and guests keep highlighting. Certain rooms stand out as epicenters. The upstairs suites, where heavy bootsteps are most frequent, or the areas near staircases where children's giggles echo loudest. The doll room, filled with donated and mailed dolls that previous owners swore were haunted, carries an especially heavy presence. Dolls shifting positions or even seeming to activate on their own, cries or movements reported when no one is near. One recent account described a baby doll suddenly making sounds and appearing to move while the owner vacuumed nearby, despite the activation button being safely out of reach. Investigators have captured orbs, glowing spherical lights floating through hallways, pulsating in ways dust particles simply don't, along with knocking sounds, breathy laughs on recordings, and kitchen cabinets swinging open untouched. EMF spikes, REM pods triggering without explanation, and shadow figures caught in laser grids or mirrors add layers to the evidence. Named presences include a cowboy spirit called Uncle Slim or Glenn, a woman with dark curly hair who leans close at night, a little boy named Dennis or Benjamin who runs playfully through rooms, and voices of women in the kitchen or grunts from unseen men. These aren't vague impressions. Multiple independent witnesses, including owners and TV crews, describe the exact same entities and sensations. The hotel's layered history fuels it all. Railroad bunkhouse origins, time as a schoolhouse, saloon, courthouse, even a brothel. Lives ended here amid hardship, illness, or frontier violence, leaving imprints that intelligent spirits seem to interact through. Guests feel touches, dizziness in certain rooms, or the cobweb sensation of passing through energy, or as if the building chooses when and how to reveal itself, playful with some, watchful with others. Now, I have to acknowledge one moment here. Some might point to the age of the structure, over 130 years of settling floors, old plumbing, or even psychological suggestion in a place marketed as haunted, as rational explanations for noises, temperature drops, or moving objects. Creaky boards expand and contract, wind finds cracks, and expectation can heighten perception. But when patterns repeat across dozens of unrelated visitors, investigators document consistent EVPs and visual anomalies, and activity occurs in controlled settings with no one else present, it becomes harder to dismiss entirely. The sheer volume and specificity push beyond coincidence into something genuinely eerie. In the end, the Olde Park Hotel leaves you with more questions than answers, proof that some places hold on to their past with ghostly hands.
That skepticism note makes you think twice, but then the personal accounts pull you right back in. Phew.
Exactly. The Olde Park Hotel reminds us that history doesn't always stay buried. Thanks for joining me through these shadows tonight. Over to you, Juniper, for the sign-off.
What a deep dive into the haunted Olde Park Hotel in Ballinger, Texas, from pacing boots and children's laughter to shadowy figures and moving objects that defy easy answers. Whether residual ethos or intelligent spirits from the 1800s railroad days, this place ensures few leave without their own story. Thanks for spending your night with us and facing these mysteries together. If you've had a paranormal encounter or want to share your thoughts, you can drop us a line at shadowpodcast@protonmail.com. And make sure you visit our website where we got everything, shadowfrequencypodcast.com, for more episodes. You can also find all of our listen links. You can find our blog, our merchandise, all of it. We can't wait to explore the next strange case with you. Matt, you want to say goodnight?
Good night, everyone. Sleep tight. Or don't.
Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and keep listening from the shadows. The Shadow Frequency, just signing off.
This episode was conjured with a solemn vow to explore the unexplained while remaining bound to the truths that have been unearthed. All interpretations are speculative and offered only for your enlightenment and your entertainment.